I work in international media. I'm the New York City correspondent for RT from Russia. I report
Which stands for
Russia Today. And I cover news for them, and I'm also the founder of the Center for Political Innovation, which is an educational socialist nonprofit. We educate people about opposing war and opposing empire, and trying to bring a new perspective to anti-imperialism and socialism, looking beyond left and right, but toward what brings us together, how we can build community.
And fantastic. How long have you been working with CPI?
CPI has been around for about 3 years. Before that, we had clubs on various campuses that were called Students and Youth for a New America. Then, around the time of the pandemic, as the pandemic was coming to a close, we decided to launch the Center for Political Innovation as a formal educational think tank organization.
So is it a 501c3?
No. At this point, we are a nonprofit incorporated in the state of Oregon, and it's called CPI Education Project. Prior to that, we were a corporation in the state of New York. So yeah.
Oh, so you've gone through a transformation already.
Yeah, and we will probably take on many different stages, and we've been involved in many different projects, and our organizational form will evolve over time. One thing we really tried to do is we want to get past this notion that you have to form a party, because in the United States of America, there are two political parties, the Democrats and the Republicans. So if you go to average people and you say forming a party, they're already confused when you say you're not a Democrat or a Republican. And then when you find out you're a party, they want to know when you're on the ballot. And if you're not running candidates and you're a party, they're even more confused, right? And that this orthodoxy of we must form the party and publish the newspaper and have a leader with a certain mustache. This is kind of a stodgy old archaic way of doing things. And as we talk about socialism for the 21st century, we want to be more modern in our approach, and we aim to educate. We're not running candidates for office. We do some protesting, some mass outreach, but our main thing is to educate. We see ourselves as an educational organization. And I tell people that as things get better in this country and as we start moving towards socialism, there will probably be something like a party that comes into existence. But that party will be like an orchestra. In an orchestra, you got trombones, you got bass drums, you got harps, you got flutes, and we will be one instrument in that orchestra. Because a real revolutionary party, not only would it have people that do educational work like CPI, it'll also have labor unions, it'll have people who run for office, it'll have a newspaper, it'll have all kinds of different things. Well, we will be one part of the coalition that's eventually needed, because I really believe in this kind of educational work about anti-imperialism and getting to average people who would never go looking for this message with it. And so we want to take on that task, and we can't just wait for some organization to come along that'll allow it to do us with them. We got to just seize the moment. We got to do it, right? And I feel like that's a big problem I see in a lot of circles. There's a lot of people, it's like, oh, if we could just, we could get into the Democratic Party, we could just take it over, or we can, there's a community radio station, we can just get our people on the board. It's like, no, just do it. Just do it. Right? There's so much that needs to be done right now. Just do it. And that's been the CPI approach, is if we want to do something, we find out what we're capable of doing, we raise the money, we find the volunteers, and we do it, right? Because people need to know the truth about what's going on. Our country is in a very severe crisis. The world is in a very severe crisis. So it's time to do something, not just to wait for all the chess pieces to align and we take over some institution. Just do it. That's my attitude.
Absolutely, I agree. And that, I would consider that a basic overview, folks. So I want to get into more detail on the importance of CPI at this juncture in our history, because it plays a very vital role, I think, in going forward with what is happening in the world right now and how to solve the problems.